can share with the team. That would be, oh, that would be great.
Yeah, I will record it and I'll send you the link over.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
All
so
right.
what I did is I typed in bottles and then keywords I did aluminum and water because I'm looking for a water bottle. Down at the very bottom where there's these different filters, there's one that says in stock. So I can check that and it's only
Mm,
going to search for products. See, it filtered it down to 60.
mm.
So you can kind of see how it filters that down. Let me take that off and I'm sorry, I have a new puppy, so if you hear him making noises,
I love dogs and puppies, so yeah, no worries.
I rescued him from the shelter.
Oh, that's great. That's the best. You
He's
both
three and a
rescue.
half pounds.
What kind of dog? May I ask?
Well, we know his mom was a Chihuahua,
Hmm.
but we think his dad was some sort of a terrier just because of how his hair looks.
Oh, wow. What a combination.
He's got crazy hair, but he's cute.
Very energetic or
He is very energetic, yes. He does not walk anywhere. He runs at full speed.
great.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So without that filter, you can see there's 595 products. So it filters it way down for the distributor. And I talked about that it helps in the visibility of your products.
Right.
When a distributor does a search, we have a algorithm that determines the order that the products will show up in. And I
Okay.
just kind of pulled that up. And one of the areas of the algorithm is inventory levels.
Oh,
So it does look the other part of the algorithm that's integration is order status, if you can provide that as well.
hmm. Okay.
Um, but with
And
regard,
can I ask you real quick? The
sure,
order status part, is that generally that's going through the Sage platform generally or
not
through
normally
different things?
because distributors can send over orders to you guys several different ways. Oh, it says there's somebody else trying to join.
Yeah, this would be me, YH.
Oh,
Let me see
gotcha.
on the computer. But I'll
Oh,
mute everything there so
okay,
there's no
sure.
reverb.
Um, Distributors can send you orders directly from Sage, which I'm sure you've seen those. They can also send orders over to you directly, which a lot of the larger distributorships will do that because they have their own purchase order system. So when a distributor wants your order status, I'm going to pull Ariel up here again.
Yeah,
Let's see.
sure. Okay, great. Perfect.
So within the tools, how the distributors access their order status. So it doesn't necessarily have to be orders that come over to you through Sage. On each account, there's a tab that says My Supplier Info, and this is unique to each distributor login. So once I click in there, over here to the right, there's an area that says My Customer Number, and this is the distributor's customer number that they would have with you guys.
Ah,
So when they do that, they also give you permission to send over order status. And order status is just that. It's the status information only. It does not show like what was ordered, how much the order was, or any of that kind of information.
mhm.
So as you can see here, they put in that it was received. At one point, it was waiting for artwork. The nice thing about our system too is if you have like a web link that people can upload their artwork to, you can actually put that link in there. So if you're waiting on artwork, they can actually click on it and upload their artwork. Um, it also provides them with a tracking number so they can see that. Distributors can also set up alerts. So it's kind of like that Amazon experience. They
That's
will get an
great.
alert every time it changes. And these can all be set up um, based on what you guys need it to say. So let me open up the developer's information here. Now, kind of going back to the inventory, the inventory that you send over can be broke out by attributes. So what I showed you with that water bottle is it was broke out by the color attribute. So it broke it out by each individual color. It could also break it out by size. It could also break it out by warehouse. So you can get kind of really deep in that.
Wow, that's very nice.
So on the notes section, it talks about the attributes right down here at the bottom. You can do a maximum of 5 attributes per product. And there is one that's for $9.99. So like if you did it by warehouse, you would use the $9.99 one or $9.91.
I'm
But you
sorry.
can,
Could you explain that again?
yeah, if you have 2 warehouses and you're doing your inventory by color and by warehouse, you can say, I have this many red in Oklahoma and I have this many red in Texas. So that could be your warehouses. And so you would use the type ID of 99.
Okay,
10 would be the color and 99 would be the warehouse.
got it. Is there a list of all these ID types
Yes,
somewhere?
it's in the developer's guide.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
underneath the notes section.
Okay, great.
And then the same thing with the order status in the notes section. It has all the status IDs as
Oh, very
well.
good. Okay, great.
And if you have some that's different, what we did is we tried to, kind of assemble common statuses that suppliers might use. But if there's one that's different, we have the 999 one that you can use for anything additional.
Ah,
But we
perfect.
we tried to do the more common ones, like received, entered, accepted, etc.
It seems yep, well covered, all the different
We
stages.
also have examples of the code listed here as well. So you can kind of see how that works out, along with examples of the response that you should receive.
Great.
Once you decide to go to product data does take a little bit more time just because you're mapping your fields to our fields.
Mhm.
And what I usually do is set you up with a test account to do the product
Perfect.
data because
That
I
was a
don't
key
want you to,
question we had.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I can actually go ahead and get that set up if you would like after this phone call.
that would be
Um,
great.
sure,
Yes,
because we don't want them, messing with your current product data.
it's our greatest fear that we'll try one simple update and everything will get like zapped or something. So the test environment
Exactly.
would be perfect. So
Yeah, and what I like to do is, once you do some testing, just let me know and I'll kind of review it just to make sure that nothing is kind of not listed in a understandable way. And make sure that everything is put in the right fields. Because
great,
my goal is to make sure that you continue to get the kind of visibility that you do on your products. We don't want, just because you're integrating, we don't want that to diminish in any fashion. And then before we go to the live, push it live, you and I will have a conversation. We'll look at it. We'll both say, yes, this looks good, or we'll give, more feedback on what needs to be corrected. So it's kind of a partnership. We want to make sure that everything looks the way you want it to, and I want to make sure that it looks the best way possible for the distributors as well.
excellent. When we push these updates through, how is there a processing time or is it just in real time or how
It's in
long?
real time.
Okay, great, great.
Yeah, which is good if you do a lot of pricing changes, um, which you can get that new pricing up there right away. And for
That's great.
products, you actually will also push the to verify it again. So whenever you do an update to a product, it'll also give it a new verified date.
Which what does that do to help or hurt the search process, or
It
if at all?
actually, it's helpful. It's part of the best match algorithm. And it will, let me show you. So distributors are encouraged to only use products that are verified, because that's kind of like you as a supplier, that's your seal of approval saying this information is correct and we will honor this pricing. If they hover over this little verified logo, it'll give them a date that that product was updated. Like this one was updated last in January, which
very nice.
this one probably doesn't have a lot of pricing changes on it.
Is this one of ours? I can't tell.
No, it's not, but we can pull yours up, certainly.
That's up to you. I'm just curious.
Yeah, we'll pull it up.
That's great. This is really covering the key goals that we want us to, because we do have a lot of price changes and adding new products
Right.
weekly. So
Okay, so let me pull this one up. It has a lot of colors. Okay, so if I hover over here, I can see that this was updated in January. So obviously it's one that doesn't have a lot of changes to it.
right. Very nice. Very nice.
Let me check your images here. Okay, perfect. You've got them labeled correctly and everything. That's perfect.
Good to hear.
Yep, that product looks really good.
Thank you. Great.
I know we've worked with you guys a lot because I mean, you've been part of Sage for a while.
Yes. Quite a while. Haven't been to the last couple of shows, but we'll start attending again at the next one. But yes, it
Well,
seems great.
we have this Sage show that's coming up in April. That's the online show.
The virtual one.
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll look into it. How has that been?
Oh, it's been great. We get lots of feedback. I mean, that's why we keep doing it every year. And I don't know if we're doing it twice this year. I think we are. I think we're doing it twice this year. But I'll send that over to you. They sent out a marketing piece on it today. And I'll send that over to you so you have it.
Sounds good. If not, April, if you are doing another one this year, that might be definitely something participate in.
It's perfect.
Once we get our API in mind so that everything is flawless. So
I get it. So this is one of your products right here. You do have inventory showing on this product, but it's being done manually.
okay. I have a question is, I mean, in the industry, most everything is produced overseas so that even inventory can sometimes be overseas. Now, this can be confusing for some distributors. Is there any way to clarify that or whatnot? And the other question, of course, is there's always a question on shipping time and production time, how to break that down correctly. But it's a little beyond the API question, but I was just wondering if there's something we're missing on that or.
Well, our production time is, yeah, I know what you're saying. Our production time is basically what the distributor looks at is how long does it take to produce the product before it ships?
Right. That's our understanding.
So that's what the production time is. I mean, we do have this little comment field down here too that you can say, estimated shipping time is, 2 to 3 weeks or whatever it might be. And I would recommend you could put that in there.
Yeah, I think we should do that for everyone because, every now and then there's some, if you look at it this way, it's pretty clear. Production is production and there's, shipping notes, a separate line item. So I would, assume that production, time frame doesn't include the shipping, but a lot of clients are a little confused about that at times. So,
you can also add it to the shipping estimator as well. You can also add a note there.
Okay.
My philosophy is the more information you can give, the better it is for you guys. Now, with regards to the inventory part, so let's say this particular item right here. So do you have inventory here in the States or is it all overseas?
We have samples in the States, but the 2,400, that would definitely be overseas.
Okay. I mean, to me, that's pretty clear. There's that much in stock, regardless if it's here or overseas, because you're clearly saying that it ships from China,
Right, yes,
and
assembled in China.
you're clearly saying that everything happens in China. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
it's logical to me if it's, I didn't realize it's all broken down this much from the distributor's perspective when
Mhm.
they see it. So, but it seems there should be no questions. If it's all line item broken down. So,
Right,
now I'm curious why some distributors have questions on this, but
because they don't
okay,
read it.
that could be it. That could be very
They
much it.
don't read it. Yeah. Um, yeah.
All
And
right.
that's
Well, that
I've been
information's
here
there, so it's
20
good.
years, so that's my experience is they don't read everything.
There you go. Each generation reads less and less, it seems.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So that part's totally clear. So, okay.
Okay. Yeah, and I think your developers, our developers guides are written really well. They shouldn't have any issues at all, with it and going through it. And what I will do, like I said, I'll get the test account set up. I probably won't get the information sent to you till tomorrow. But I will also get the link to this recording sent over, so that they'll have access to that as well. Because I
Okay.
think a lot of times seeing it from the front end, how it's actually going to look, will be helpful.
Absolutely, right.
Yeah.
The and our developers are in remote locations, so that yeah, definitely like anything more visually um, you know, helpful will definitely help them contextualize however they're
Right.
coding. So
Yeah, I talk to developers all over the place. I've got one I'm working with now that's in London. I've got several in India, so I deal with them all over the place.
right. It's can I ask you you might cover this when we go, but there were three just real quick questions that our developers had.
Sure.
So in the API, there are three fields that need to be submitted. One is the stage number. We assume that's our stage number. Um, the other is a ACCT ID and then login ID. Our variables, or maybe I can email this to you if that's easier.
You
So we're
don't
just what?
Okay. So you
Yeah.
won't need the ID. I
Oh,
think I know
we
what they're
don't.
talking about. Let me look
Okay.
at this here. Um, so they're talking about the login ID. You won't
Yes, the
need
login.
that.
Oh, we don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
you won't need that. The account number you'll need, and I'll actually send that over to you with the Sage number for the temporary account.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
Perfect.
your account ID will be the same for the test account and your live account.
Okay.
The only thing that'll be different will be the Sage number.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And so I will get that sent over to you with everything else.
Okay.
Normally
Got it.
the Sage number starts with a 6. I'll have to see what I have available for the test
Okay.
account.
All right. That answers that. And so we never need to use login ID
Nope,
identifier
and you can actually delete it out of the code.
of the code.
Um,
Okay. Perfect.
yeah, you can just delete that out of the code.
Okay. Great. That clarifies that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really the only questions our team had were that and the
Okay.
testing record. So I'm happy to hear everything else.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds like they've already read through it, so that's good that they had
Yes.
questions. Yeah. And like I said, any other questions as they go along, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be the main contact. Um, I
Perfect.
know you, and usually, let's say for example, they send a code over and they get an error. I'm going to need two things to help them figure it out. I'll need to see the original JSON, and then I'll need
Okay.
to see the error code that they get back from Sage.
Okay. Got it.
Because a lot of times it's just a tiny little thing, like a comma missing or a bracket missing, or,
Right.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's just little tiny things.
So you're an expert on this then from all these different errors that could be caused by those. I mean, those are like the most headaches if unless you really know what you're looking for. So
Most of them I can usually figure out. Every once in a while, I kind of get in that zone too, and I'll look at it and look at it and look at it, and I can't figure it out.
mhm.
And I have somebody in our support department that I'll send it over to him just to get another look at it. And he'll come back right away and say, "Oh, it's this."
like one extra bracket or something. Yeah, or missing
We,
end
yep.
parenthesis. So
We
that's
also, underneath the developers API, there's also a test bench.
ooh, what's that?
Within the test bench, there's also the JSON validator.
Okay.
So they can run if they think there's something off on the code, they
Oh,
can
that's
actually run it through
excellent.
there. hmm
And oh, that's perfect. Okay,
And I
that's
use that
good.
a lot. I use it a lot to just double check stuff. Because, like I said, you start looking at it so much, you're going to miss little tiny things.
Right. So I would think our developers should just test everything here before
hmm
submitting
Yep,
it. So,
they
okay,
certainly
that's
can.
this is so thoroughly prepared, this whole environment. So that's wonderful.
We try.
It's awesome.
One of our owners is a programmer, so he does most of our
Um,
programming for all of our softwares.
wow.
Yep.
From to this day, that's
Yep.
really awesome. That's so
Yep.
cool.
He is we've got a couple more developers now he works with. We've gotten so large and so many things going on. He can't possibly keep up with it all now himself, but he does oversee everything and make sure it gets done. We're redoing a whole bunch of our internal programs that we use.
Mm.
So I'm waiting for the headaches to happen.
Ah, massive overhaul on that part.
We're also about to move our offices to a smaller building because, when COVID hit, everybody went home to work.
Right.
And so we're moving into like a smaller, newer
Mm.
building in a better location. So when people do come to the office, because myself and my team usually go in once a quarter just to kind of
Mm.
reconnect and see each other face to face and
Wait,
kind of,
everyone still works remotely
we
there?
do.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
It was
amazing.
funny
Okay.
because prior to the pandemic, our owners were kind of against it. They didn't want anybody, they wanted everybody in the office. They wanted to be able to see everybody. I worked from home before the pandemic, but um, when they sent everybody home, they discovered how productive everybody was and how they got, everybody was happier and all of those kind of great things. And so now they're just like, oh, we'll just leave it this way.
Wow.
So we have enough space in the office if people want to come in a couple of days a week, they can. Um, but we're redoing all of our servers, so it's kind of a refresh for everything when we move to the new office.
Very interesting. You'll still be in Dallas, is that correct?
Yeah, we're in Addison right now, which is kind of north, no, south of Dallas. No, north.
It's so big.
North of
Yeah,
Dallas.
specifically, right.
But we're moving down the road a little bit, but it'll put us in another town called Plano.
Oh,
So,
Plano. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so
A
we're
very
just moving down.
well-known city.
Yeah, it's this new big business complex and it's going to have like a gym and it's going to have all these really cool things and
Wow.
it's a good opportunity for us to reevaluate our servers and upgrade our servers and so that we are better for our customers.
That's very cool. It sounds like a very high-tech, cool, hip place to work and visit.
We try, but today we're having some IT issues. I
Oh,
was like, yeah, I can't actually get into our servers in Dallas. Yeah, our VPN is down for some reason.
oh no.
And I was just like, oh gosh, I hope I can still work with everything, but it seems to work good. So,
Mm.
but yeah,
Well,
it went
that,
down right before I got on this call. So it's like,
well, somebody, somebody performed a miracle in that minute. That's
well,
great.
it was funny because when it went down, I was actually on the phone with someone in our support department. And I was like, my VPN just logged me out. And he goes, yeah, mine did too. So
Oh no. Then I can multiply that by 100 other employees then.
exactly.
Wow. That's
So we have group chats, and so I sent a group chat out to our whole department because we have the biggest department. And I was like, I don't want all of them, emailing support. So I just sent a note back, hey, we know that there's an issue, support is on it. So I was like, we decided that we think that server needs to be retired
mm, there,
because
yeah, at some
yeah,
point.
it's been going down for the last probably week. She, it's having some issues.
Yes, that could be a sign, yes.
Well,
Super.
perfect. I will definitely get this taken care of and get the recording sent over to you. And